15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Really excited for tonight's episode, as always. It's funny because it's that time of year where we're not quite to training camp, but the draft's already happened, so you're kind of in that in-between period where there's not too much to talk about, but the OTAs did get underway for the Buffalo Bills last week, so we wanted to touch on that and get back at you guys before we break for summer. Listen, as always, Riding Shotgun, my co-host, Riding Shotgun, Adam Dump Truck Rupsick. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, TT. What's up, man? TGIF.
Nickel City. Nickel City, TGIF. Happy long holiday weekend.
Yes.
Rob, how you doing, man? How you doing, Rob?
Can't complain, man. Happy Memorial Day weekend, sir.
Yeah, it's a nice long one. Get out there. Rain in the forecast, but hopefully we evade it as much as possible and enjoy.
Yeah, man. I wanted to talk to you tonight about OTAs and then something that I told you was kind of stuck in my crawl from the offseason after Joe Brady was hired. So first, we'll get to OTAs quickly. Bills held their organized team activities last week, and it's interesting, DT, because it's the short Olympics, you know what I mean? And it's routes on air and stuff like that. So everybody's going to look great. We got a chance to see Josh Allen throw into his prize new wide receiver one, DJ Moore, and that looked good. Obviously, again, routes on air, so we take it with a grain of salt. But it was really fun to see in respect to just the boys getting back out there, DT. There's nothing like that new blood. You get the rookies in there, and then they're mixing in with the vets and everything, and everybody's together. And it's always it just lets you know and reminds you that football's on the way. It's not here yet, but it's getting close.
It's the first sense of the uniform team, right? And You see everybody, you saw the rookies by themselves, and now you see the uniform team, and you see QB1, and that's always good to see him upright and moving. Looks like full go, nothing with the foot. So
yeah,
let's rock. And yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. We're going to say that a lot tonight, but we don't know, and excited to see what it will be. And I like the receiver kind of bunch sets that can happen with a lot of these guys being similar, DJ Moore, and if Skylar Bell is that outside guy, not just inside because he's a little smaller, more like a Diggs, if you will. And what Shakir can do inside. So the bunches of receivers, it'll be interesting to see what Joe Brady's got for that. Not just screen merchants, right? Like that's what we would all hate. But was he floating? They said he was floating in that one clip. It looked like he just jumped too early to me.
I think he just jumped too early. Yeah, that's all it was.
Hopefully he floats.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, it's routes on air, but it's always good to see those guys get back out there. And then another thing was that DT, I noticed, and I know the Bills Mafia noticed as well. One of the first things I saw on Bill's Twitter, was that Landon Jackson is beefed up. Now I saw Dwayne Carter as well. Dwayne Carter put on some weight. I think he's up to a little bit under 330 now. But boy, Landon Jackson he almost looks like a different player. Like in respects of what he looked like coming out of Arkansas. He was more of a lean frame, kind of like a Greg Rousseau mold when he came out. He is. I mean, his shoulders are jacked. His neck is not. He's like looking like a little Takeo Spikes. DT. He looks much bigger, and it kind of makes you think that he could be playing in that 4-eye situation where he's on the edge, and he's kind of, not a linebacker anymore, not a stand-up linebacker on the very edge. But if it's a 5-man front, he's going to be that guy on the inside, right next to Ed Oliver or whoever they're playing at defensive tackle. DT, that could be That could be. It's just something to monitor. It's something to look at because his body does look completely different. I'll give everybody that.
Well, that's what you need. If we got to beef up on the interior of the line, and we know, okay, Deion Walker is the nose tackle or whatever that looks like,
Right.
there's going to be other people that need to beef up on this line as well. And Dwayne
Right.
Carter's okay sized, TJ Sanders solid, but really, this is a chance for this guy to really come in there and be one of the bigger guys on the line. But what it really did for me is it's pretty deep. Like there's got to be hopefully some dogs that come out of this defensive line, Rob. Like there's a
Okay.
lot of names in here. Like, can we pull it up right now? Like we're talking,
Yeah. Sure. I got it for you.
Dwayne Carter coming
Mhm.
back from didn't see him. This is basically his second year, and
Right.
it is the second year of TJ Sanders, Deion Walker. Now we
Right.
got our first pick in Parker.
Parker.
They're big on Solomon.
Yep.
They
They
had
like
we
Mathis, I
had
guess.
I mean I
They
just
like
named six
Mathis.
guys before I named Ed Oliver,
Yeah.
and you obviously Rousseau and Chubb,
They
and
just got Dana from
yeah.
Kansas City. We brought him in.
So like it's going to be a competition. I know it might be rotation based like it has been. It's going to be a different defense, but it will be defensive line, keep them fresh. Okay, rotation, but there's not all those guys aren't making the team. That's a lot
Right.
of people.
Yeah. No.
So
You're right.
yeah, I'm looking at that really kind of opened it up like, oh shoot, I did not forget about Landon Jackson, but like, he comes up, he's looking like a, bulk ass Ninja Turtle out there. And
Yes, with the ball head. Yes.
yeah, I mean, coming out. So if he can step up and make plays, we need a lot of defensive line to plug those holes. If we don't have that nose guard in Deion Walker, who is going to play in the interior, I'm not saying it's Landon Jackson, but the point is beef up. And the point is, I know a lot of names on there. I just started looking through like, damn, like we got everybody out here. So look forward to that competition in training camp.
Yeah, they've got Dana, they've got Jackson, like you talked about. They got Andre Jones, who had already been with them. They've got some rookies in there. Dwayne Carter, Zane Durant, your guy from Penn State was brought in. Zion Logan and Fedarian Mathis, who a lot of us are starting to think that could be who they want to play nose. Who knows? What you got Ed Oliver and then TJ Sanders, like you talked about with Deion Walker. So yes, a bunch of bodies there on the defensive line. It's going to be interesting to see, and that's not even including again the actual linebackers and those guys that play on the edge of that new 3-4. Now it'll be interesting, DT, because another guy that I saw was Michael Hoyt, and I asked the thigh doctor, who I know a lot of Bill's Twitter knows the thigh doctor. We follow each other on Twitter, and he was like, "Listen, this is looking good the way he's running," and I'm like, "Well, he's not going to be like ready for anything, right?" And he was like, the way he's running, he'll be ready week 1. Now he may not be in the full form until Thanksgiving or something like that, but he's like I don't know, something about how his heel was hitting the ground and he wasn't, he's just exploding off of it. And he's working on the side, but that'll be interesting because one thing that I know that you and I noticed, because you were down here with me in Charlotte, was that he made an instant impact as soon as he was on the field. We were waiting for him to get off that suspension, and it sucked that he only was able to play a couple quarters into that second game. But DT, another movable piece where he might fit right into this new defense that Jim Leonard's got in mind. Attacking, aggressive, that type of thing.
Sure, cautiously optimistic, and the sample size we saw was so small. Was he that good, or was it a flash in the pan? And we'll find out. And now coming off an injury, he's probably not. The odds are against him to prove it to us. But I'm going to be cautiously optimistic there. And he seems like he fits the mold, of being a gamer. And he did that last year. Even before he finally got off suspension, he played good and obviously unfortunate. But Achilles is, I don't know, Rob. I don't know, but I like I do trust the thigh doctor in most times. He's not right all the time, but I do trust him in most times. And yeah, it's that's another name. But we didn't even mention, and there we go. Right there is if he is back and playing like he did last year, that's a spot. So it's deep. Like we talked about depth and building, and it just kind of dawned on me like we got a lot of guys, like a lot of names on that defensive front.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I know the Bills Mafia's favorite. Oh, man, look at this. Oh, man, he looks great. 86 Dalton Kincaid, who I have, you already know I'm a Dalton Kincaid hater. It's not because of anything about talent-wise or anything like that. I just think that availability is definitely your most important thing that you could bring to a team. I just don't see him enough on the field, but Bills Mafia loves to pump his tires. I guess he looks great and stuff like that in shorts. I don't know, DT. I could see a situation where they're still going to keep this guy on a pitch count. I think that they want to make sure that he is most ready to go for the playoffs, for the postseason, that little stretch run. So if that means a pitch count to start the year, you really don't see that too much in football. But for guys that are important to the offense, you might see a more of a reduced role where it's more Dawson Knox to start the season, and then you kind of ease this guy back into it because it doesn't seem like he can stay healthy. But again, the reports out of OTAs that he looks great and stuff like that. And so I guess we'll have to wait till training camp. But I'll never hold my breath on a guy like him anymore because I've been burned too many times. He is a matchup nightmare. He does look great out there, and his numbers are great, DT, in respects to efficiency, but he's just not on the field. It seems like that knee thing is always nagging him.
Yeah, they just started finally talking about it too. They saying the word PCL and saying that he didn't,
right.
And then saying that he didn't, he's not doing surgery on it, and he went around to a bunch of team doctors and found that out, and so you can't bet on him, but you have to know you're going into a contract year with him as well, and if you want to pick up the option, if you do, it's a financial decision. And if you're on a pitch count, what better way to be on a pitch count is when you pay, a Knox way too much. I know he just took a cut, but you pay him too much anyway. Okay, now he can play that role because you pay him to do it. And Hawes had a lot of promise last year. So if that's their plan to pitch count him, I don't know, but it can be done with our personnel we have and the guys that last year played well for us in Hawes, and we know Josh's buddy in Knox, so it can happen. But I hope he comes back like a dog that we know he can be and has those flashes, and it gives us a whole season of those flashes. We're talking all pro, and that's something that's going to be down the stretch at least into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I just have a tough time. I guess I've just been burned. I have a tough time believing in it in that thing because he's always on the pine. He's always hurt. So we'll see. Now, another thing that's came out of OTAs, and it was something that I don't know if you noticed, but I guess Deion Dawkins is kind of blowing up a little bit. He's a little bit bigger, and some of the pictures weren't really, too they weren't too kind with Deion and how he's been looking. Listen, I don't know if he's been going through something when it comes to injuries in that leg and stuff like that, but he's put on some weight. So I usually tend to think, DT, that when it comes to guys that they can play their way into shape, and when it comes to training camp, this is OTAs. It's still, we're getting ready to get into June. Yeah. I think it's still a little bit early. I know he loves to drive his cars and stuff like that, but some of the pictures that were out there were less than flattering, and that's the best way I can put it. But I'm not too worried about it right now. I think that it's maybe something to keep an eye on when we get to actual July to camp. For now, I'll let it slide. But he's put on a few pounds. I guess that's the nicest way to say it.
Yep. I'm right there with you, but hopefully he's bulking up, and it's a long season ahead. Turns that into being in shape by training camp. It's still 2 months away. So
yeah, it is.
It's his going into year 12.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He knows how to.
Is it 12? No way. Deion has not been here that long. Really?
10?
God dang. Yeah. 10 years. Wow. Goodness gracious. That's great. I didn't even think of that. Wow. Yeah. So he's been here a long time. You're right.
He knows how to prepare for training camp. And if he's not going to, then we got something to talk about in July.
Yeah, I guess we can wait and kind of panic when that time comes to it. Other than that, DT, really, it was interesting just to see, again, happy birthday to QB1. Listen, I've gotten to some spirited debates the other day.
30.
Yeah, man, it'll be funny. We're going to dive into it, Nickel City Crew, in the summertime. We've got more time. We're going to have Mama Monday on. You know that she's the brain doctor here at Nickel City Crew, so she'll help us work through it. I think that it's going to be key to just maximize these next years, DT. You already know where I lean on that. I don't think that he's going to play forever. I know that a lot of Bills Mafia does not expect that, but he's not going to be an Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't think he's going to be way into his 40s playing football or anything like that, especially with the lifestyle and how he talked about, what was it that, his wife helped him realize that he's more than just a football player, yada, yada, yada. So now he's a dad. So listen, we are literally opening the curtain on Act 2 of Josh Allen's career. And it was just funny, DT, because when you saw it come up on the page, and I know Adam Schefter put it out there on Twitter, and people were all up in smoke, and I'm like, man, he's 30. And I just put out there that it's just officially real now. No more years to waste. Brandon Bean, you're on the clock. Joe Brady, you're on the clock, who we'll get to in a minute. But let's get this guy all the weapons. Let's get this guy whatever he needs. Let's get him a defense that can complement him finally. That's going to support him in playoff situations. Because DT, it's not the hourglass. The sand is running. I mean, it just is. And he's still athletically ready to do it. He can still run and do all those different things. But it's just going to be different each year going forward now.
Rob, is you and I, two people above the north of 30 crowd, it don't get easier. So, and I'm fresh into it,
Yeah.
so it's damn right. But the number in front of the age, like there's really a big like divide mentally. Like if there's a 2, he's young, he's 29, he's young. When I saw that 30, I'm like, damn, okay, he's a man in this league. Like he's a he's the dudes like late in, like now everybody, he's not the kid. He's not the gunslinger kid anymore. He's a grown man and a superstar. Like, and it's ticking. It's ticking. So that 3 really makes me feel it because damn, I feel it every day. And so and I don't get hit by dump trucks like Josh Allen does on a regular basis. So God bless him. God bless him.
God bless him. I mean, I expect, we'll talk about it when we get into training camp, when we do our offensive and defensive preview like we do every year, Nickel City Crew. But we'll talk about it. I mean, I don't expect him to be running as much, in the regular season, and hopefully he's going to be smart about it when he does. Hopefully he's going to be taking care of his body, getting out of bounds, different things like that. He doesn't need to be hurdling over guys, in week 3 and stuff like that. Remember that one we were at the opener watching Arizona, and then what does he do? He breaks his hand on Buda Baker's helmet because he's just trying to get, every yard and get that touchdown. And we actually needed him that day to do some heroic stuff. But I think he'll be smart about it. I'm sure that Joe Brady and the offensive staff have a plan to how to execute this and kind of ride out that sunset and have them last as long as possible. A big part of that is the offensive line. You talk about it all the time, DT, protecting the merchandise. I know that it was sobering, and you talked about it at Joe Brady's press conference, was seeing Josh Allen on crutches, and you talked about how that was such a sobering feeling to watch him have to be hobbling in there. It'll be very important for the offensive line to make sure that they pick up now that Aaron Kromer has retired. Listen, figure out your scheme, figure out what you're good at, and make sure that you don't deviate too much from it, because obviously Aaron Kromer did a great job. Protect the merchandise like DT always says. You've got to keep him upright. You've got to keep him healthy, and that'll help extend his career as well, DT.
Yeah, but Rob, on the mute there, it's an inverse confidence on this offensive line right now. I would say I was confident in the tackles in the previous couple of years, and going into this year, there's some question at tackle, not just because Dion, showed up a little heavy. Like there was murmurs right after McDermott left. There was some unhappiness. There was, it seems like I don't think there's beef, but it doesn't seem smooth in that regard. And then over with Spencer Brown and how can he go? We got lucky when he went all 16 games 2 years ago. Then he was a little banged up last year. Like the dude is huge and bangs and is prone to injury. Obviously, the bright spot was the center, and when we went McGovern and didn't think we would, and got him his money. So we're gonna need it. Maybe in different ways where we had the confidence in the tackles. Now it might have to come from the inside, and Cybo's playing for a deal and everything, so protect it from inside. But yeah, I think my confidence has flipped from the outside of this one to the inside with, hey, you got your money now, McGovern. Cybo can go get your money, and the other guard's going to be, whoever's at the other guard spot's going to be fighting for a starting spot either way. So that's got to be, a strength as we figure out the tackles.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a strength. When you've got Josh Allen, when you've got a running back like James Cook in the backfield, you got to find a way to maximize both of them. And like I said, you always want to keep him, Josh Allen, upright. So we'll see as we get into training camp. Listen, tonight's episode is presented by Buffalo Fanbase, the official Bills Mafia podcast network that DT and I simulcast on. Again, as always, salute to the General Justice General Radford. Listen, head on over to Buffalo Fanbase. You can check them out on Twitter, Instagram. Listen, they've got a great bunch of content creators out there. I'm talking about the K-Gun Report, all those guys, our boy Ryan Thomas on Thomas Take Sports. Listen, check them out over there at Buffalo Fanbase. They've got all of the content covering the Bills, and that's all off season, long into the season as well. Also, we're presented by I-86 Network. We also simulcast on there. Shout out to my boy Tom Wujek, Bobby Hansen. They're running a great site over there. I know that they're down right now about the Sabres. We'll get to that at the end of the show with the Tailgate Report. But listen, check out I-86 Network as well. They've got a ton of coverage on hockey and all the fights and all that other stuff that you need to be plugged in on. Listen, DT, I wanted to get something off my chest because I know that we're getting ready to go on our break before summertime, before training camp. And it was something that it's the reason I named this the show the way that I did, is that something was bothering me, and it started pretty much after Joe Brady was hired. And I thought nothing of it in the beginning, and then it happened again at the owners' meetings, and I was like, holy shit. And so listen, I'm not looking for somebody to walk with me on this. I wanted to throw it out there to you. And then maybe you can let me know your thoughts on it. But again, I'll stand by myself on this. I'm not looking for an echo chamber. But it was interesting because Joe Brady, when he was hired, we talked about the press conference, and he said all the right things, and they hired from within. And one of the things about hiring from within is that it kind of added a different level of pressure to Joe Brady because of the fact that it's not like a new guy coming in. You already know what's going on. You already know the expectations. You know Buffalo. You know the team, especially the offense. You know those guys. So there's a different level of pressure that's on Joe Brady than it would be for a rookie head coach or for a first-time guy to Buffalo. In that, DT, is that he had working relationships already. And one of the first things I noticed about this guy was that he sounded a lot like Brandon Beane. And well, what do I mean by that? Well, he would parrot some of the stuff that Brandon Beane would say about salary cap. And then he would talk about how it's hard to roster a team when you're paying a quarterback like Josh Allen, which we all know is complete bullshit, because of the fact that the salary cap continues to go up. And Josh Allen being on the team is not a detriment to the Buffalo Bills. You have to work around it, sure, but it's not a detriment. And you wouldn't be able to get the players that you want to go target if you didn't have Josh Allen. So I don't like that I don't like that analogy, period, because you see teams like the Rams and others that hit a draft and then they pay all those guys. And so I don't like that at all. DT, I've been worried a little bit about it because it happened again at the owners' meetings, was that he was sounding a lot like Beane. And I'm like, is this dude like a yes man? And I don't want that. And that, obviously you don't have to be contrarian just to be contrarian. You don't have to try to fight your boss just to fight your boss. But one of the things that I was worried about was that all we ever heard about was McDermott and Beane were in lockstep, and they're in lockstep. And then what happened was, by the time that the tenure came to an end, they weren't in lockstep anymore because losing takes a toll, and hitting your head, like Pagula says, on that playoff ceiling takes its toll. And then all of a sudden, we were talking about last year how we felt that McDermott was leaving us breadcrumbs, that he was unhappy with the roster. DT, I don't want Joe Brady to be carrying the water for Brandon Beane. Who knows how long he has this job, but you go out on your own terms. You go out there and you run the team the way that you want to run it. You're no longer the offensive coordinator. You are now the head coach. This is your shit. This is your boat. DT, I need him to be the captain. It was stuff, and maybe I'm being sensitive to it, but it was stuff he was literally parroting things that Brandon Beane was saying. And it rubbed me the wrong way because I don't need you to take up the cape for Brandon Beane. I need you to be your own man, run your own stuff, and make sure that if you don't agree with Brandon Beane, let the motherfucker know. Let him know. He's not going to fire you because you guys have differing opinions, but I don't like when you sound like you're carrying his water. It's rubbing me the wrong way. And he did it again at the owners' meetings. I didn't like it either.
Okay, Rob, we're critical of Sean McDermott for the last 3 years. Really the last 7.
But since
we're critical of Sean McDermott. We're open on it on Nickel City when Bills Mafia might have been quiet, and we're critical of him. Give the boy a chance here in Joe Brady, right? This boy is this is a dream to be a head coach in the NFL for this guy, right? As a coach, to be a head coach in the NFL and be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills when you have the best player in the world as your quarterback. He can come in, and it's a dream job, and he got the dream job in a place that he knew that basically he thinks he earned this because working in the building, he proved himself enough for Pagula and Beane to say, yes, you earned this job.
He's ready for it.
So, of course, I think, the excitement of that as a young, young excitement. I hope that excitement leads to good things for us. But I think that
Right.
young excitement is not being a yes man. Like, yes, he's being a yes man because, oh, thank you very much. You gave me my dream job. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. We're in lockstep. But they gave him the job because he knows the pressures of the NFL. He's been
Okay.
in the league. He knows if he goes in and they don't produce, it doesn't matter if he's a yes man. He's dead. And
Yes.
that's a simple equation, and
Mhm.
it's as Roman times as anything in the NFL. You do or you die. Like, that's
Right.
it, literally it. And the
That's right.
people that suck don't make it. The coaches that lose don't make it. It's win or die.
Okay.
And
Okay. I'm with you.
he knows that and I think the Bills hired him because he knows that. And of course, he's a yes man right now because he just got into his dream position. But he
Hmm.
also knows when that ball rolls out, he's in charge of that side, and the team is what wins the Super Bowl. So he's in charge of everything. And if it doesn't go well, he's done. So I think, yes, he's excited. You might hear a little yes man. If he is a yes man, we're screwed. Let's be honest. I agree. We want a fighter. But I think he knows the stakes, and we'll see what happens, obviously, this year. But I think cut him some slack. We were critical of Sean McDermott. Take a
I like
break,
it.
Rob. Let the
Okay.
coach play. Let the coach a
No
little
problem.
bit. We can get on him week 2.
No problem. No, no. Listen, and I want to be fair, and thank you for checking me. And I'm not trying to be unfair. I think that it was. I like the way that you explained it. I think that it might have been just a combination of a little bit of gratitude along with the fact that you don't want to come in swinging like, yeah, well, my GM's a dumbass. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, but I'm going to fix everything. Like, I got it on my end. I get that part of it for sure. I just thought that there was some stuff that he was like literally saying the same words and stuff like that. And then when he talked about the salary cap thing and it's hard, and I'm like, that's Bean's fucking favorite line. Like, don't give me that bullshit. I don't want to hear that from you. Like, so okay, I'll cut him a little slack. DT, I'll ask you this then. Transitioning from offensive coordinator, would you at least give me this? Transitioning from offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator like McDermott was is a bigger transition than maybe even he knows, and maybe what he's expecting, because I think that what happens is a lot of times is that even guys like Mike McDaniel, I know Mike McDaniel might be an extreme case, but like sometimes a guy gets in that seat and it's just too much. It's just a lot on the plate, and he might be a great play caller and you might be great at scheming guys open, but you've got to be able to manage the entire team. How is your confidence level then, I guess, ahead of summertime on him being able to transition to that new role? Because it is, at least you can give me that it is definitely a different role. He is no longer the offensive coordinator. When Sean McDermott came, he was no longer the defensive coordinator of the Panthers. Now you are running the Bills. Now Joe Brady is running the entire Buffalo Bills. And one thing that I did like in the offseason was that he's like, I can't wait for camp to come where the defense picks off Josh and I can run and yell. He was on McAfee. He was like, and I can run and yell and give those guys daps and high fives and stuff like that. So I think that he gets that. He knows that it's going to be a transition. I just don't know if he understands, obviously, because he's never done it before.
Of course, there's guaranteed learning curves. There's
Absolutely.
guaranteed growing pains. I mean, we're going to see things this year and be critical of him for, legit those things, those
Right.
growing pains. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm here for it. I like the energy he brings, obviously. I mean, like you said, McDaniel's an extreme case, but like Joe Brady kind of fits a mold of like being a football guy. Like, he's
Oh
really
yeah.
kind of a nerd for football. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's, and so I think he knows kind of the grand scheme, like the plate will be bigger, but he understands now the whole thing. So he's going to make an effort to be with the defense. He's going to make an effort
Right.
to set the tone in every aspect of the ball, of whatever his philosophy is going to be.
Right.
Everyone will be following that. And I think that, he'll get in your face. He'll be something that maybe the passive aggressiveness or the quietness we saw before, it might be a little louder and, could go good or bad. But we've been bitching about that, I think, for a couple of years, about how it needs to get a little louder. People need to start being some assholes on this team.
Yep.
With
Yep.
something we've missed since 1-4. To be honest, I'm right there with you. So let's go and have that bite back to us. And I think he fits that mold, at least from what I've seen. It seems like he's gonna, get after it with everybody, not just
The
be,
offense.
yeah.
The offensive coach. Yeah. And it seems like the players like him. You know what I mean? And he's younger, he's hip, in that respect. So that I think that he can relate a little bit more to them. But the players seem to have his, have respect for him. And I think that that's going to be really the key, DT. When we talked about it, when we did the episode, when he was hired, is that, it's a different job, but that the players seem to have his back. The players seem to like it. You saw the support with the guys coming out there, and Josh on crutches and Alec Anderson in the front row. All those guys were there for him to celebrate him that day, and we're in town. I think that that's important. Obviously, if 17 is behind you, then that's a huge deal because the team follows 17 in general. But I think that they do respect him. I don't think that they think that he's just he got the job and he didn't deserve to get the job. And that's very important because they can smell a phony. They can spot a phony. And we talked about that before. He is definitely one thing that he is authentic for sure. And I think maybe that's probably why it was rubbing me the wrong way. So maybe I took it the wrong way. And maybe I was reading into it. But you got to at least give me some slack, is that things were a little bit hot on Bean at that time. So I was ultra sensitive to Bean. I was ultra sensitive. I expected both of them to get fired. They weren't. So I was really like, this motherfucker, like, look at this snake right here. So maybe I can admit that I was a little bit ultra sensitive to anything that was coming out of One Bills Drive after that shitty press conference. I'll admit to that.
All right. Yeah, take it. We don't. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Listen, DT, before we wrap up tonight, listen, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, we'll be on a break. Okay, we're not paid professionals, so we're gonna take our summer off just like the rest of you guys do.
Yeah, you might think we are. You might think we are.
Listen, we'll take our summer off unless there's a Myles Garrett trade or something crazy like that goes down. We're just gonna chill out. There's not really much on the calendar, Bills Mafia. We've got post June 1 cuts, so expect AJ Brown to be on the move. Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew, post June 1. You got some cuts and different things like that. A lot of guys have to wait to get traded, so we'll see what happens. But unless something like crazy pops off, we will be gone for the summer. We will be back as always, ready to go, rejuvenated, refreshed. DT will have a nice tan, I'm sure, and we'll be ready to go for training camp. Listen, I've been working on so many guests for you, Nickel City Crew, for training camp. I'm really excited. We'll have our offensive preview. We'll have our defensive preview like we do every single year. And again, we've got some stuff to dig in on Josh Allen with Mama Monday. I've got guests lined up. I'm not spoiling everything, but we've got a bunch of stuff lined up for you guys through training camp, and I'm really excited about it. I know DT is as well. DT, tonight, Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report, as always, is presented by Queen City Vintage. Check out Queen City Vintage. They are there on Elmwood, right across from 40 Thieves, the actual storefront. Check them out. Listen, Kai's got you. Nick's got you. You need your Buffalo Bills, even your Buffalo Sabres gear. I know I don't have the hat on tonight. We'll talk about that in a moment. But listen, they've got all of the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Sabres nostalgic gear that you need. Check them out, Queen City Vintage. They will, again, be sponsoring our giveaways this regular season. DT and I are really happy with our partnership with Queen City Vintage. So we're going to be giving away T-shirts and swag all season long. And again, this is a special season because we're opening up that new stadium. DT, did you see the new stadium? Somebody did a walkthrough again today, and I was like, I had to post on Twitter. I was like, this still doesn't even seem real. I know that you said you rode by it today.
It's clean. I was driving around today. Yeah, they got the actual Bills logo, right under the high mark now. Glass is all up. The concrete's out front. Like it's there. It's there, man. It's there.
It doesn't even seem real. I'm like looking at like these videos. I'm like, man, this place looks immaculate. I can't wait to be in there. So DT, the tailgate report for me. The game was Monday or Sunday? Game 7 was Monday. Monday. Yeah. So I had my middle king Nate. He's my ride or die. He's Buffalo through and through. He loves hockey now as well. And we watched the game. It was just the two of us, and we ate. We watched the game, and it just was DT. I thought after they tied the game that they were going to win the game. Like I genuinely thought that. Now I was nervous when they got to overtime because then it's sudden death. Anything can happen. DT, shout out to the Sabres. Shout out to Lindy Ruff. I guess you even have to give a little credit to Kevin Adams because these are all his guys pretty much. And by the time the playoffs were rolling around and they were getting deep into it, all of Yarmo's guys from the trade deadline were on the bench anyway, riding pine, besides Carrick, who was hurt. DT, salute to the Sabres. They just gave Lindy Ruff a 2-year deal. So that's really cool. So I kind of felt like I do with Josh Allen. I even posted on Twitter, like, now it's time, Yarmo, to go ahead and get this guy his cup because he's a Buffalo Sabres icon. DT, what a fun ride it was. I didn't want it to end. And I was just shocked. Like when it ended, I just sat there looking at the TV for a minute and I was like, all right, Nate, come on. I'll take you back to your mom's. Like I couldn't even believe it. the suddenness of sudden death is really fucking. I couldn't imagine being like a diehard like hockey fan. It's like I don't even know if I would be able to take it because I was nervous and I'm just a casual hockey fan. DT, it was intense when they got to overtime. I still thought we were winning, but I was still nervous as hell. Every shift, I was like, "Is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? Is this going to be it?" And eventually, that was it.
You said it, man. Sudden death.
It's
It was
horrible.
sudden death, like sudden death, dead
It's
silent,
horrible.
dead.
Yeah, man.
I mean, total domination in the second, third period. I mean,
Yeah, nice to watch.
Montreal didn't have a single chance in 2 periods.
Yeah,
And down the stretch, and they had a few chances in overtime, even with the 2-on-1 with Tage, and it's just, dude, too similar to the Bills. I hate it. I don't want any part of it. That sucks. You know,
were you at the house watching? You were just at the house.
Yeah. Just drag you right out, drag that heart right out, right? So I can only imagine being like diehard. Queen City Vintage was in the building. Nick was in the building there, and he said people crying. Obviously diehards crying, but hey. That we liked being in, but I was off the listen, it was nice to get in and the Goo Goo Dolls, better days, game 1, hell yeah. But then after game 1, it was like, okay, we're here to win this thing, right? And
sure.
I mean, they salute to them. They took us on a month-long ride. It was like 3.5 weeks of every other night of playoff hockey, and they went down to the last second in a series where who knows what could happen with Montreal winning last night 6-2.
Yeah, I know.
Carolina. Is that just rust? Who knows? Is Montreal is good. Obviously, we just saw it, but so are we. So it's just the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Could it have been, same as we say in the Bill season. And it sucks, man. It's the lovable loser thing, and I hate it. But you can't. I'm not there yet. Like, good job, Sabres. You got us back there. You really made a nice pop in the city. Season tickets sold out for next year.
Really? Wow.
Everything is legit now with the Sabres. Like, it's a whole thing where they have club seats of like you have drinks and food included, and like
the beer
really,
Sabres.
Finally, the beer Sabres are rocking. So next year, hopefully it's not a quick dud. They're a legit squad, but I think they are because they have the superstars up top. Obviously, they didn't play well in the last series, whatever. But they got the young boys. I mean, they got literal boys everywhere on this team. Like
Zach Benson's my favorite Sabre. Period. I don't care.
He's coming out. They're definitely going to sign him. They're gonna, and he's 21 years old, and he's 21 years and has played 200 games. Like they are flush. That Hellenist dude's not going back to the AHL after his playoff push. So obviously the goaltending, I'm not as critical. I hated that we got in that rotation. But what are you going to do?
They did it all year. So I had to respect it because that's how.
But what are you going to do, right? Yeah. What are you going to do, especially after 3 quick ones on the Saturday? That was a wild. Saturday was a wild game.
Yeah,
that was
8-3.
But what are you going to do? Luukkonen let in a goal that should have been saved in overtime, but who were you putting in there that makes that save then? It's not like there's just, Connor Hellebuck just available, out there. So I get it, but it's tough. It feels too familiar, but I hope it's this.
One of the good things about it, though, for the sake, not good that they lost, but good things about this run is that they're at the beginning. So they're like we were when we broke the drought, you know what I mean? And and everything was, and pretty much after we found out that Josh Allen was legit, and after we knew Josh Allen was legit, we had hope. And I think that this team, like you just talked about, the young guys, Sabres fans should have hope because of the fact that a lot of the core, like you said, is young. You got to figure out if you want to pay Tuck and how much to pay him and all that. I know they debate that stuff ad nauseum on GR. Figure out what you want to do in that respect, but you've got young talent. So I don't know. It does suck that your best player didn't play as well, in the last series, and then your second best player was non-existent. I think Tuck had 0 points the entire fucking series, which
-8,
is wild. But I guess Tuck's Thompson admitted that he had a back problem. Finally admits. Everybody finally admits the injuries on that locker cleanout. So, listen, they're at the very beginning. It's like you found Josh Allen and he jumps over Anthony Barr, and you realize, okay, this dude might be legit. You know what I mean? So I think that they're at the very beginning of their run, and it should be fun, man. It should be fun. You gotta press the right buttons now. That's the job of the GM. So Yarmo's got to be, like Brandon Beane. You gotta press the right buttons. You got to bring the right guys in to make to make it worth it. You know what I mean? Make this worth it now. You've got the fan base reinvigorated. So don't back out of it now. Don't, go for this shit, is how I would look at it. You don't know how many more chances you're going to get, DT. I would say if I could tell anything to Sabres hood is go for it right. Go
Terry
for it right now.
Terry's running over, hopefully yelling that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great month. The city was on fire, man. It was a good time. It was a good time.
It was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
It's community, good for the economy, like just good for everything. People, the city, like of good neighbors for sure. Everyone's out in their Sabres jersey. Let's go. Beautiful time. So
yeah, no, it was great, man. I enjoyed the ride
on the news.
Down here.
On the news, Nickel City news.
Yes,
and the Blade gang. There was there's a lot of good things that came out of that. So.
Yeah, I'm down with it, man. Listen, a special shout out to one of our Nickel City crew lifers, Paulette Brown. She's been going through her own stuff medically. Listen, I just want to let you know, Paulette, I'm thinking about you. I love you. I know DT loves you as well over here at Nickel City crew. We really appreciate it. That was really warmed my heart when she reached out to me, let me know she's going through some medical stuff. She's not about to die or anything like that, nothing like that. But I just wanted to give Paulette Brown a big shout out because she is a lifer and she's been with us from the beginning pretty much. And I really do appreciate you support. Listen, all of you guys out there support. I mean, look at this, DT, almost 300 people watching on, again, a TGIF Friday. We appreciate you. Listen, out there, I can't call all of your names, but you guys know who you are. The lifers from the Josh Kluls from the very beginning, the Noahs from the very, very beginning, all the way through people that are just joining us for the first time tonight. We appreciate you. Listen, DT and I, again, we will be back. If Myles Garrett is traded to the Bills, I promise you we will have an emergency podcast.
You said that 3 times tonight. What do you know? What do you got?
I don't know. He's not showing up to camp. OTAs, whatever, it's not mandatory. And Todd Monken literally sounds like somebody's grandpa who is lost. Like I don't know if he knows that he's the head coach of the Cleveland. It's just I couldn't believe the hire when they did it. Not that I'm being aged, I'm not being ageist or anything like that. He just doesn't seem with it, man. If you listen to some of his press conferences, they got clips on Twitter, and it's just funny. It's hilarious to listen to. He sounds. He doesn't. I don't know. I don't expect his days to be long. I don't know why they wouldn't have hired Jim Schwartz. He was there. He wanted the job. He ran a great defense. Myles Garrett loved him. So I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know, DT. Maybe there could be some smoke, man. I know that they've always said that they're not trading him, but Jimmy Haslam runs the Bucks. He's about to trade Giannis, so maybe he would get whatever he could get for Myles Garrett.
That's a good point.
He wakes up. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Trades Giannis and Myles the same game.
That would be sweet. Right. So listen, we will be off until summertime. DT, when is training camp? Do you have any? When is it? They haven't come out. They haven't come out with a official date.
I don't know. The 16th of July, 16th of July, 20th of July,
something like that. Yeah.
Listen,
once we get the schedule, we will be back out there again. We've got our official offensive preview, defensive preview. We'll have guests for those. We'll have Mama Monday back on. I want to talk about Josh Allen. Like this is a pivotal start of the second act of his career. Now he's a dad. I don't know, man. Let's get all of our ducks in a row to support this dude. I cannot say it enough. I understand that he is a part of it, but literally Bills Mafia, Nickel City crew, last year was the first time you could ever say that it was his fault. And we still almost won the fucking game. We still went in overtime, and he had a horrible, horrendous, uncharacteristically bad game.
He also got us back into it. Yeah,
and we were also right there. So, I mean, just make sure you're surrounding this dude with everything that he needs to bring that parade back to Western New York. We deserve it. We need it. I think we're long overdue. I think anybody would say that. I heard something on a podcast the other day. DT was like, Bill Simmons was like, he's like, the Knicks are like one of the last teams that needs to win it, like for everybody. Like it would help for everybody, like that loves basketball. He's like, it's like only thing I could think of is like the Bills, and I think he named the Vikings as well. Because I know that they lost 4 Super Bowls. But DT, when he said that, it resonated with me. Like you said we're America's team the other week. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know anybody who really hates on the Bills besides like Ravens fans or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Chiefs fans don't have any reason to hate on us because they beat us when it counts. I don't know anybody that hates on Bills.
Gen Pop loves the Bills. Yeah.
The general population, yes. They love us. So I don't know. Surround this guy with as much as he needs to be great. And that's not just offensively. That is in my opinion, that's also defensively, DT. How many postseasons have we watched the defense shit on themselves? And I don't know, man. I'm ready for a change. I want it to be different, and maybe Jim Leonard can bring a different outcome, DT, because I'm willing to give up some more big plays if it means that we're going to be taking the ball away. And I know that we did take the ball away, but be more aggressive. Just opposite of bend don't break. I don't know how you feel about that, but opposite of bend don't break. I've seen 9 fucking seasons of bend don't break. I got it. It has its merits. I'm ready for this new Jim Leonard defense. I really am.
Yeah. Let's go. New stadium, new look, new vibes, but same dominance when it comes to 1-7 and same type of pedigree. We play to. We just gotta get that last inch. That last inch, Rob. It's gonna be a common theme until we get it. That last inch. So
yeah, you say it. You've been saying it for years. You've been saying it for years. Listen, we love you out there, Nickel City Crew. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there for sure. And listen, we'll see you when they announce when training camp is. I promise you, click, clack, we are back. DT and I will be right back at you. Listen, I guess enjoy your summer, Nickel City Crew. Enjoy all of it. Again, anything crazy pops off, we'll be right back at you. DT, I've had a blast starting off season 6. I'm excited. Yeah. The new stadiums got me excited for sure. And some of the changes have got me excited as well. Change is not always a bad thing. It's different. It's new, but it's not a bad thing. So thank you for taking me through tonight. I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah,
I don't want this man carrying the water. I don't carry this man's water. You are the fucking head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Do your job. Do it to the best of your abilities. You don't need Brandon Beane's approval. So, okay, maybe I took it too far. Maybe I did.
Just give the coach a break. We can get on him. We can get on him later. But yeah, Nickel City Crew, let's lock in. We'll see you back in July. Get a little sun kiss on your cheeks, and let's rock and roll for training camp. Get to business when that happens. We got a nice update, breaking news tonight. We'll leave to you where Nick gave me the first to break it here. Queen City Vintage has acquired a tailgate bus. And it's a beauty. It's a beauty, Rob. We're talking a big boy. We got the wrap. I've seen what it's going to look like. It's going to be dope on the outside. It's going to have shelves built. It's basically going to be the store into the tailgate. They're going to be right. We'll see where we're tailgating. Obviously, with our tailgate crew with the new deal, but they're going to be at Twin Oaks, right there. That motel that didn't get bought out by the stadium. It's the only building left.
It's the only one left, yeah.
And they're going to be right there. So right out of their bus is the front door of the stadium, basically. They're going to power to it, TVs, and it's going to be a whole spectacle thing. So Queen City Vintage up in their game, getting boots on the ground, game day, the Queen City Vintage bus. And he said, we got Nickel City Crew. Obviously, we're going to be on that bus, so people are going to see the brand, see the crest. And
I love it, man.
And know what's good. So that's an update. And shout out to my mom. Shout out to Mama Michelle. Shout out to Mama Dump Truck and her 60th birthday. Her 60th birthday this weekend. So
happy birthday, Mama.
Yep, big one, nice milestone. So we're gonna celebrate her this weekend into the holiday, and that's what's up. So shout out, Mama. Listening every week, listener. Every week, listener.
That's what's up. Well, yes, Mama Monday is always there. She is always there supporting us. We appreciate the love. So happy birthday, Mama Monday, Mama Rupsick, excuse me. Enjoy your birthday for sure. That's what's up. Okay, the big 6-0. There ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Listen, out there, enjoy your holiday weekend. Enjoy your summer. We will be back training camp. Listen, out there, spread love, not hate. There is enough negative shit out there. Spread love, man, out there, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit them with a go Bills, DT. We'll see you back at training camp. Hit them with a go Bills.
Go Bills. Go Bills.